Prepare yourselves. The bells have tolled. Shelter your weak, your young, and your old. Each of you shall pay the final sum. Cry for mercy! The reckoning has come!
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Satanist domain. My name is Lex, and on today's topic, I would like to talk about something that I think a lot of Satanists will be able to understand on a deep and personal level. As is part of the stereotype, Satanists are often called pedophiles. If you're a Satanist yourself, you likely have been called one before. At least as someone who has operated a considerably successful Satanist page, I know that I do on a consistent basis. It's a stereotype that it's extremely difficult to shake since the Satanic Panic. I would like to cover this topic broken down into 4 parts. The first being the impact the Satanic Panic had on the Satanist image, the Church's stance on pedophilia, where we actually stand, and the reality of the situation. That said, let's begin. The Satanic Panic is an era of American history during the 1970s and prominently in the 1980s, where the fear of Satanism and the occult in general was really widespread across America. It started off slow in the 60s and 70s, but really kicked off after the book Michelle Remembers came out in November of 1980, which details a girl named Michelle and her experience with the satanic cult. The moral outcry from this book was immense. The book was discredited several times by several investigations, but the subsequent impact it had on the public was irreversible. Hundreds of supposed victims came forward claiming what is simply shortened as SRA, or Satanic Ritual Abuse. A vast majority of such claims were that of child abuse, hence the relevancy. These claims range from necrophilia, torture, cannibalism, you name it, it was there. All the while these accusations were going on, which were either entirely unsubstantiated or neither proven, might I add, ripped at the reputation of the Church of Satan, which had only been founded 14 years prior, and was still active in the media. Since Satanists have had a very hard time recovering in a way, trying to get rid of that stereotype. It's sort of a black mark, if you will. Asmodeus, Satanist, Lucifer. Evangelicals and Bible warriors alike have all come at the Church of Satan, accusing us of ritually abusing children for years now, and that's nothing new. And while the Church has no clear-cut anti-pedophile stance, or any official statement, as far as I know, it does have a very clear-cut, it's not acceptable. This comes from the 11 Satanic Rules of Earth, rule number 9 being, do not harm little children. That, coupled with their fact statement under prisoner issues, suggests it's not tolerated. The exact quote, which will be listed on screen, is, if a Church of Satan member is convicted of a felony, it should be understood that membership is automatically terminated. More so if that crime is one that breaks the basic tenets of Satanism. Now that is an official statement. However, the Church of Satan is the Church of Satan. There are non-joiners who have a clear-cut stance on it, such as myself. As mentioned before, the Church of Satan is just that. It's the Church of Satan. It's an organization that shares some views with other Satanists and those who follow the philosophy of Anton LaVey. And while a lot of the views that the Church of Satan has are common among Satanists, there are a few differences. For example, the Church of Satan not being bold against pedophilia. Where I encounter Satanists, we're actually very stalwart in the fight against pedophilia. So much so, as a matter of fact, that I opened a secondary page aside from my main account on Instagram, @theantipedo, which targets and exposes pedophilia, specifically on Instagram, and weeding it out, as well as providing a place for activism. This account's been banned for unknown reasons, and while I work that out with Instagram, it doesn't exist, but I will try to include a screenshot if I can still find it. But, back to the point, Satanists have no interest in children. Satanists by nature enjoy the grasp of intelligence that only a matured person could have. We enjoy the beauty and elegance of the full-grown human body. If you are a pedophile and ever think about joining the Church of Satan in hopes of having children line up in front of you, we suggest you look elsewhere, else you'll be met with hostility from not only the community, but the Church itself, and if vigilant enough, violence.
He's a Catholic priest. He served around the world in a bunch of different places, and he is the poster boy for everything that's exactly wrong with the culture of cover-up and deceit.
I think it impossible to ignore the simple truth of pedophilia in mainstream religion, specifically Catholicism. These Catholics, who I'm often approached by, who claim that Satanists are child-loving monsters, are pure hypocrites. On May 13th of 2017, Pope Francis himself made a public statement stating that there was a backlog of 2,000 child sex abuse cases in the Catholic Church. Let that sink in. 2,000 cases. And might I add, those are just cases. Cases can include more than one subject or victim. To that I ask, how many children have to go to bed at night knowing that Father McFeely decided to invade their privacy and molest them and ruin their life forever? Pure hypocrisy. So when I see these Catholics making egregious claims of Satanists performing pedophilia, I laugh. Laugh not of humor, but of anger, of disgust, and of pure hatred. I laugh because if I don't, it will make my blood boil to new heights, to levels of which I previously thought unimaginable. I will give credit where credit is due, and I commend the Pope for acknowledging the issue, unlike his predecessors. But then I ask, what is being done about it? What is being done to stop these monsters? I await the results. That's really all I have to say on this topic. If you have anything new you'd like to add to the discussion, my Instagram is linked in the description. And please, leave your thoughts in the comments. Any suggestions, please leave them. Thank you all for watching, and as always, Hail Satan.